Hi friends, this is Sinu. So today video is all about how to learn Python programming by using a mobile. Okay, so why I have chosen this point is okay. So everyone thinks that so we need a laptop to learn any programming language. Okay, so do you think that you need a laptop to learn a Python programming language? Obviously no. These days you can use your mobile to learn any programming language because there are so many apps are available in a Play Store to practice any programming language. Okay, so similarly, so C, C++, Java. Okay, so for Python also there are so many apps are available in Play Store, friends. Okay, so today I would like to discuss one of the popular app, that is PyDroid 3, which is used to learn Python programming in mobile. Okay, so why I have chosen this particular app piece? Okay, this has got a very simple user interface, friend, and as well as it is providing so much of a library, Python library functions. Okay, so that is an important thing. Okay, so for example, if I want to do a smaller kind of a projects or a larger kind of a project, so we need so many built-in library of Python programming which are available in this particular PyDroid 3 app. Okay, so this PyDroid 3 app is having another supporting app called PyDroid repository plugin. Okay, so that plugin, if you install that plugin, you will have all the library functions that can be used to program Python programming. Okay, so what are the different kinds of libraries? Okay, we have already told you that there are so many library functions readily available. Okay, like TensorFlow, like Pandas, like IDLE, like NumPy. Okay, so all these libraries are available in this particular app, friends. Okay, so that is one of the advantage. So that's why I have chosen this PyDroid 3. Okay, so what is this PyDroid 3? So PyDroid 3 is like any other app, so which allows you to program the Python programming in your mobile, friends. Okay, so there are actually two types of ways to do the Python programming. So one is called interpreter based and another one is called terminal based, friends. Okay, so what is interpreter based Python programming is? Okay, so interpreter based means that is like a command prompt. Okay, where you can type one line commands. Okay, so you can execute those one line commands at the interpreter. So this is like a command prompt in Windows. Okay, maybe you are aware of that command prompt in Windows systems. Okay, so that is kind of an environment is also available here. Okay, and another one is called terminal mode. Okay, so what is this terminal mode is? So there will be a notepad like a structure or a text editor where you can type Python programs, then with a single click you can execute the program. Okay friends, so there will be an yellow color play like button will be there. So by using the mobile keypad you can type the program, then just clicking on that yellow color button you can see the output of your program, friends. So that is very simple, friends. Okay, and another important thing is there is no need to even give the name for your program also. Okay, without giving a name for your programs, so you can see the output. Okay, so then if you want to save that program, then you can give the name. That is another option, friends. Okay, so I will show all these things in the demo. So there is a special command called pip. Okay, so you know that pip is used to install all the library functions of the Python. Okay, so this particular app is having, I have already told you that there is a supporting app called PyDroid repository plugin. So wherein you are having all these library functions. Okay, so I am also want to show that how to install those libraries into this PyDroid 3 app, so that you can do project like things. Okay, you can do a project in this mobile also, friends. Okay, so this is very useful app, friends. So simple looking app. Okay, so wherein you can do this Python programming and all those things. Okay, so first of all, okay, so what I want to tell you is what are the advantages. Okay, what are the uses of using the mobile phone for learning a programming language. Okay, so for this Android supported mobile. Okay, so you can type the program. Okay, so if you got an error in your program, you can take a screenshot of it and you can share in WhatsApp or Facebook to your friends, so that you can clear your errors. Okay, so that is another thing. Similarly, if you have really done a project kind of a thing, you can save your project and you can share your project with your friends in all social networking sites like WhatsApp, Facebook and everything, friends. Another thing is, so if I use a laptop, actually normally I need to carry that laptop, like 2 or 3 kgs of laptop in a bag, and that too you need to fully charge the laptop, and that will be run for only 2 or 3 hours, and after that your battery is dead, then you need to recharge it again. Okay, one is using mobiles and you spend most of the times in the mobiles. Okay, so if there is an app kind of a thing is available in your mobile and you feel like a programming, you can do the programming in anywhere, friends. You can do the programming in when you're waiting for something, when you are in a queue line, and when you're in journey or something. So wherever, if you want to do programming, you can do that programming by using mobile, friends. Okay, remember, friends, I'm not discouraging use of a laptop. Okay, so laptop has got so many benefits, friends. Okay, thing where you can do projects and all those things, and that has got a huge capacity of storage, so that you can load everything, or you can store everything into that laptop, and later you can run them. Okay, so we all know that. Okay, so you can type, you can chat with your friends not even looking at the screen also. Okay, so why? Because you are used to that keyboard, QWERTY keypad in the mobile. Okay, so another important advantage of using the mobile for Python learning. Okay, friends, so another important thing is this particular app allows you to do copy pasting, friends, so that you can copy program from a net or something, and you can paste it here, and you can run the program and check the output, friends. So that facility is also available in this app, friends. Okay, so we'll see all these features in the execution part, friends. Okay,
So just go to the Play Store, in search, type PyDroid 3. Okay, it's already showing me the recommendation that is a PyDroid 3 IDE for Python 3. Okay, just click on that, friends. Okay, so I have already downloaded this app in my mobile, so that's why it's showing open. Okay, so for the first time you have to download and install your mobile. Okay, I'm just opening this app, friends. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so you can see this is the PyDot the app, friends. So it's a very simple looking app. Okay, so wherein you can type your Python program, then just click on that yellow color play button, that will execute your program. Okay, so I will just write a small program here. Okay, I'm declaring a variable x. I'm assigning a string to that. Okay, that's my name actually. Okay, so I'm just typing Sinu. Okay, friends, so to print this on the screen, okay, so I'm just using the method called print. Okay, so I want to just print that variable x. Okay, so we just execute this program, friends. So let's see so whether this executes or not. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so my name is displayed on the screen. Okay, friends, very simple interface, friends, so wherein you can type your programs and you can execute. Okay, it's very easy. Okay, so in order to save this particular program, you need to open this, click on this uh, briefcase kind of a logo. Okay, so where there are so many options, friends. New, open, save as, close, recent files. Okay, so for opening a new program, you have to select new. For opening an already existing program, you have to select open. So if you want to save your program, just save. Okay, if you want to save the program for the first time and you want to give some name, just take that save as. Okay, if you want to close this program, just close that. Okay, so these recent files will open all the files that are so far you have created. Okay, so for the first time, okay, I have to select this save as. Okay, I'm clicking on this save as, friends. Okay, it's showing that there are some directories kind of things. Okay, there is an internal storage and there is a home and a last open. Okay, friends, I'm just selecting the internal storage so that I want to store my program in my mobile. Okay, so I'll just selecting this select a folder. Okay, so I'm just selecting the folder. Okay, it's showing me or recommending me some name, friends. So new file.py. Okay, so here you can give your own name. Okay, so I'm just want to give my name as a display. So display dot. Okay, so I want to give the file extension as py, friends. Okay, remember, friends, all Python programs will have a file extension as a .py. Okay, so I want to name it as a display, so the total file name is display.py. Okay, friends, I'm just saving it. Okay, so you can see that the name display.py is displaying on its blue color bar. Okay, so that this name is display.py. Okay, so I'm again executing this program, friends. Okay, so it's showing the output Sinu. Okay, so I'm just going back by just clicking on this backward arrow. Okay, friends, so since this is a free app, friends, okay, so you can see this kind of an ads that will pop up whenever you are closing or whenever you're in the middle of the some program execution. Okay, so for a free kind of an apps, you need to bear those things. Okay, friends. Okay, so this is how this program should be created and how you can execute. Okay, so I want to close this file. Okay, I'm just again clicking on this briefcase symbol, and I'm just closing it. Okay, friends, so it's showing new. Okay, so that you can type again. Okay, friends, we'll see what are the other features that are available in this app, friends. Okay, just click on this menu on left hand side. Okay, I just clicked on that. So here there are so many options and features are available. Okay, so the first one is a get premium. Okay, friends, so this PyDroid 3 is a pre this is available in two versions, friends. One is a free version, and the one is a premium version. Okay, so we have just installed the free version. Okay, so if you want to pay some money, so then they will allow some premium kind of features, friends. Okay, that means they will allow some kind of library functions. They will provide some library functions so that you can perform Python programming and TensorFlow libraries. Okay, friends, so that is a premium version, friends. Okay, so coming to this run part, there are two options, friends. Okay, so here, let's see here, there is a interpreter and terminal, friends. Okay, so interpreter is the one which is like a command prompt like a thing. Okay, so I'm just clicking on this interpreter, friends. Okay, you can see that its interpreter is actually open. So here you can see that Python 3.8.3 version, friends, which was released on May 27, 2020. Okay, friends, so that is the latest version. Okay, so we are having in this PyDroid 3. Okay, so here you can see that there are three greater than symbols. That is a command prompt, friends. So this particular prompt will be very useful when you want to create Python programs in simple statements. Okay, friends, so let me show you some example programs how to execute here. Okay, I'm just declaring some x here. Okay, I'm putting some value into it, that is a 5. Okay, so I'm just entering. Okay, I'm again declaring another variable y, so this is also is having some number. Okay, I'm giving number 8. Okay, friends, so here what I'm doing here is so I want to do addition. Okay, so I want to declare another variable z, so which is assigned to x plus y, friends. Okay, so I just perform addition of two variables x and y and store the result in z, friends. Okay, okay, it's actually it's not showing any kind of an error or syntax error kind of a thing. So that means all the statements that we so far written are absolutely fine. Okay, so I want to just print that some value, that is 8 plus 5. Okay, so we'll just use the method that is a print, and which value I want to print the value of z. Okay, so here you can see that z, we'll see. Yeah, look here, friends. Okay, we got the sum of the two numbers, that is 8 plus 5, that is 13 here. Okay, friends, this is how you can use this command prompt. Okay, friends, so if you want, if you can use it for some kind of an input values also, friends. Okay, I want to show that kind of a program also. Okay, so just let me declare another variable, so that is the age. Okay, so I have declared a variable called age here, friends. So age equals to, okay, so there is a built-in function called input. Okay, input function, or you can call it as a method, so that will use it to read data from the terminal. Okay, so that means the data from the interpreter or from keyboard. Okay, so I will just entering it here as enter your, okay, just let me type this, friends. Okay, enter your age. Okay, so I'm just closing this string, friends. Okay, you can see here I have declared a variable called age. Okay, so that is assigned to input method, and you are asking for the age. I'm just clicking the enter. Okay, so you look here, it is asking me for the age. Okay, enter your age. Okay, so I'm just typing the age as 9. Okay, that's it, friends. Okay, then I want to print something like this. Okay, print. So here what I want to do is, okay, so I want to do concatenation of two strings. So that is age and some predefined string. Okay, so that is I want to display it as your age is So this is a string, friends. So I'm just giving a space so that the digit will be separated from the string. Okay, so for concatenation, you have to use this operator called plus here. Then what is our variable? That is age. Okay, age is our variable, friends. Okay, just close this parenthesis. Okay, I'm just printing it. Okay, yeah, look here, friends. So you can see the output, that is your age is 9. Okay, so this is how you can execute programs. Okay, I'm just going back, friends. Okay, I'm just opening these various options here. Okay, so we have just saw that interpreter where you have typed as some programs and executed. Okay, and there is a pip, friends. Okay, so you can see this. This is called a pip. So this pip has got a significant importance in Python language, friends. Okay, so this pip is known as a de facto standard package management system used to install and manage software packages written in Python. Okay, we know that Python is a rich set of software packages. There are so many packages or libraries are available in Python language. Okay, if you want to install those packages into this PyDroid 3, you need to use this command called pip. Okay, so that is the use of this pip, friends. Okay, so here you can see that there are so many options are available. Okay, so by default it opens this install option. Okay, where you can type that library name and install. Okay, so you can type any of the library names, friends. Okay, so you may be aware of the names of these library, friends. Okay, so if you're not okay, I'll just tell you some of the names. So important libraries that are available in Python. One is a TensorFlow and Scikit-learn, NumPy, Keras, PyTorch, Lite, GBM, LE5, SkyFi. Okay, pandas. Okay, there are so many libraries are available. Okay, which are used in artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning. Okay, so if you want to work with any of those streams, okay, you need to install those libraries into your app, friends. Okay, so we know this. So one of the important libraries, so that is a NumPy. Okay, so I have actually installed that NumPy, friends. So there are so many options are available. You can see here there is a search for the libraries. Okay, so there are some libraries, and these are the predefined libraries available in the Python app, that is PyDroid 3. That is a ISOT, JD, Kiwi, Lazy, Object Proxy, Macar, NumPy, Parso, PIP. Okay, these are all the libraries, friends. So here you can search for the libraries. Here you can, if you know the name, you can type that name and ask for the install. Okay, so and there is a quick install, friends. So here you can see that there is a TensorFlow and OpenCV Python. Okay, so both these features are actually premium versions, friends. Okay, if you subscribe for the premium version of the PyDroid 3, so then they will give the TensorFlow and OpenCV Python. Okay, so then Torch also. But PyQt5, Python, Jupyter, Keras, okay, so NumPy, Pandas, Pillow, okay, all these are freely available, friends. Okay, so if you want to install any of these things, okay, you need to have another supporting app. Okay, I have already told you that PyDroid 3 is having another supportive app, that is a PyDroid repository. Okay, so I have already installed it, friends. Okay, it's almost 110 MB size. Okay, that's very huge. Okay, if you want to use any of these libraries, you have to install that also. Okay, I have already installed that, friends. Okay, I have already installed NumPy. Okay, so see here, you can see that. So I have already installed this NumPy. Okay, so if I type that NumPy, okay, so you can see here that, friends. So looking in index, there is a repository local requirement already satisfied, NumPy in data. Okay, so that is already installed, friends. It's displaying all that information along with the versions, that is 1.18.4. okay, so just go back there. Okay, friends, so I have already written a program for this NumPy. Okay, so if you're not aware of the NumPy, okay, friends, I want to just throw some light on this NumPy, friends. So NumPy is a general purpose array processing package. It provides high performance multi-dimensional array object and various tools for working with these arrays. Okay, so if you want to work with the arrays, or if you want to perform any kind of an operations on the n dimensional array, so you need this NumPy, friends. Okay, so this is the fundamental package for scientific computing with Python. Okay, so it contains various features like so it can have that powerful n-dimensional array object. Okay, so you can have a broadcasting functions, and there are some tools for integrating C, C++, and Fortran code also. So that means if you want to write some code in C and C++ and Fortran, and if you want to embed that code with the Python, you can do that with NumPy, friends. Okay, that is also available here, and it is very useful for a mathematical kind of an operations, like it can do these linear algebra, Fourier transformations, and random number capabilities. All these features are available in this NumPy, friends. Okay, so after installing the NumPy, okay, so how you can do this is you have to import that NumPy into your program. So all you have to write it is import NumPy as a np, so you need to write that sentence, then you can write your program so that you can execute. Okay, friends, so I have written some programs on NumPy. Okay, so in order to save the time, okay, so if I don't want to make it a lengthy video, so I have already stored some programs on this NumPy, friends. Okay, I'll just open it. Okay, we'll see here in internal storage, and there is a, yeah, look here, friends. So there is a program called arrays.py. This is the program I have actually used for NumPy. Okay, friends. So see here, friends. So this is uh, a small program by using NumPy library, friends. So if I want to use NumPy, you need to write it as a import NumPy as a np. Okay, so what is this program is all about is, okay, so this will demonstrate basic array characteristics, friends. Okay, how to create array object. Okay, how to print the type of the array object, then printing array dimensions. Okay, then printing shape of the array, then printing size of the array, and finally printing type of the elements in the array. Okay, friends, so this is the program to do all these things. Okay, friends, so if you want to learn, okay, so if you want to get some knowledge of this particular NumPy, okay, so I'll just throw some light on this also. Okay, so here you can see that I have declared an array called ARR. Okay, so that will be created as a np is an object of the NumPy library, friends. So np.array. So here I have declared 3 rows, so 1 2 3 and 4 to 5. So that means there are 2 rows and 3 columns, friends. So this is a 2 by 3 matrix, okay, or 2 by 3 array, actually 2-dimensional array. Okay, so I want to print that array. So for printing, you can see that what is the type of the array. So I have just printed that type of the array. So if you want to get the type of the array, you have to use that method called type, and you need to give the name of the array for that. Okay, then for printing array dimensions, friends, so you need to use another method, that is ndim. Okay, so array arr.ndim is a method, friends, to for printing the array dimensions. Okay, for printing the shape of the array, so you can have another method, that is the arr.shape, and for printing size, there is also arr.size. Okay, all these are readily available in the NumPy library, friends. Okay, all you need to know is, okay, how to use those built-in functions. Okay, friends. Okay, I just execute this program, friends. Okay, you can see here in the declaration there are 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so I'm just executing by clicking on this yellow color play button. Yeah, look here, friends. So this is the output. Okay, so here you can see this array is of type, okay, class numpy.n-dimensional array. Okay, that means n number of dimensions array. Okay, that is that. Okay, there are 2 dimensions, that is rows and columns, friends. Okay, what is the shape of the array? There are 2 rows and 3 columns. You can see that 2 comma 3. And what is the size of the array? So 2 into 3 means 6. So that is the size of the array, friends. Okay, so array stored elements type. Okay, so what are the type of these elements? That is the int for 64 bit. Okay, that means okay, so as I told you that this is a free app, friends. So these people are displaying so many ads. Okay, so you need to be patient with that. Okay, so this is a small program on NumPy, friends. Okay, so we'll again go to the menu. Okay, so that is about a pip, friends. So pip is used to install the libraries for the Python. Okay, there you can share your programs in any kind of social networking platforms, friends. Okay, so then there is a predefined site called Pastebin. That's also where you can also publish your programs. Okay, So and there is some samples button, friends. Just look at me this. Okay, so yeah, look here, friends. Okay, so there are some sample programs also. They have provided some sample programs on NumPy, Matplot library, Kiwi, and PyQt5. Okay, so there are some predefined programs are also available in these samples. You can just look into those links also. Okay, I'm just going again back to the menu. So there is some options for get more IDs. Okay, and there is some settings and terminal settings, privacy policy. Okay, I'm just opening the settings, friends. Okay, just look here. Okay, so this is editor. Okay, okay, when you click on this editor, there are so many options are available. Okay, word wrap, tab insert spaces, hello keyboard suggestions. Okay, so I have selected these things: auto complete codes and volume navigation and button bar. Okay, so we'll just going back. Okay, if you want any of these functions, you can enable those functions, friends. And the second option is appearance. Okay, yeah, here there are options to set the font type. There are some sans serif, serif, monospace, or default. So there are some kind of options are available for changing the font, friends. Okay, so I'm just closing it. Okay, so you can also set the size of the font, friends. Okay, very good, nice. Okay, so there is some editor theme light. Okay, so yeah, friends, so for making this video, so I thought that light color is a better one. Okay, so if you are serious Python programmer, okay, so better you select the dark. Okay, so I'm just selecting this dark. Okay, we'll see how this looks like. Okay, yeah, look here, friends. Okay, the theme is changed to the dark, friends. Okay, so that is a how to change that. Okay, so I'm again opening the settings. So that is appearance, friends. Okay, there is some system options also there. So there is some auto complete options are there. Use double back to quit. Okay, so there are some options. Okay, we don't consider these things. Okay, just leave it as it is. Okay, there is some code analysis, friends. Okay, it shows some warnings and it shows some errors. It shows some fatal errors, friends. Okay, I'm just coming back. So this is about legal things. Okay, okay, these are the options, friends. So just okay, so at the top bar, okay, so you can see here there is a briefcase kind of a thing. I've already shown you that that is used to create a new program or open already existing programs. So some save options are also there. Okay, so if I click on the recent files, so that will show all the files, that is arrays.py, display.py, new file.py. Okay, these are the programs I have already created. So that shows that. Okay, there is some light color bulb kind of a menu is available. So it shows that what are the assignments or what are the definitions, so that you can go to those assignments if there are any assignments. Okay, friends. Okay, coming back to these three dots. Okay, this is another menu, friends. Okay, just click on this. Yeah, you can see here, friends, there are some options, that is something like format options, friends. So you can undo some changes or you can redo some changes. You can search for something and you can directly go to some. Okay, so I'll just click on this search, friends. Okay, it is asking me to find out some words to search. Okay, so I'll just find. So I'm just typing its print. Okay, so replace with. Okay, so I'll just so see no. Okay, so wherever the sprint is written in your program, that is replaced with my name. Okay, I'll just for the fun I'm just using it. Okay, so I'm seeing it. Okay, just click on this replace middle option. Okay, okay, so that is how this print is changed to the name, friends. So it's finding out that print. Okay, so yeah, so it is showing me all those printing options. Okay, it's asking me for wherever there is a word called print, it's showing me, friends. Okay, so there are two arrow marks like left and right. Okay, if I click on that, maybe that will replace that print with my name. I'm just clicking on that option, friends. Yeah, so that's it, friends. So that print is replaced with my name, Sinu. Okay, now this is quite nice, friends, so that you can find some, or if you want to change some particular word to some other word, it's very useful to find those things and change that. Okay, friends, I'm just going back. Okay, so I will just look at this. Okay, so I will just want to undo this. Okay, so I'm just typing undo. Okay, undo that. Okay, yeah, you can see that. So that name seems gone and print is back, friends. Okay, so these things are actually working. That is undo and redo things. Okay, so just go to line. Okay, we'll check this option. What is this option is? Go to line. Okay, I'm just randomly I'll give some number. Okay, so I want to go to a line number called 12 here. Okay, just go. Yeah, you can see here, friends, your cursor is at number 12. Okay, so it's nice, friends. Okay, all these functions are available and all these functions are quite working nicely. Okay, friends, so this is a introduction part about this thing, that is a Pydroid 3 app that is used for the mobiles. Okay, so this is a quite useful app, friends. I recommend this Pydroid 3 app to do Python programming in mobile, friends. Okay, so I want to just close this program and I want to, so I don't want to change anything. So okay, just close it. Okay, friends, so this is the Pydroid 3 app, friends. Hope you like this video. Okay, so start do Python programs in mobile. Okay, so it's very useful, friends. Okay, so maybe I recommend doing Python programming in mobile rather than in system. Okay, so if you want to do it in system, okay, you need a lot of effort. That is, you need to go to somewhere and you sit and you put that in laptop in front of you and opening that. That's quite a big task, friends. Okay, doing the programming in mobile is very quite easy. So with this Pydroid 3 app you can do Python programming. You love this app, friends. Okay, so try it. Okay, so bye for now, friends. Okay, bye.